So it seems to me that we are yet again at a very familiar crossroads, not only for this series, but in the history of my channel. To begin with, the realism versus not realism debate. And I swear one of these days I will find a way to... then again, no, I won't. I'll never find a way to keep everybody happy. I'll never find a way to be like, okay, I'm going full realism, and then make a move that everyone can, always make moves that everyone considers realistic. It's not going to happen. We are an incredible team at this point in time. 56 points. We are the NHL's best. The problem is, of course, that we have a defensive situation that some would consider unrealistic, but we've done pretty well to maintain. The problem is that we also have some unrestricted free agents coming up and some restricted free agents coming up. There was also the discussion on what to do about the Tampa Bay Lightning and the fact that they have Andrei Vasilevskiy. Would it be worth going out and trading for Vasilevskiy and flipping him? What is the best thing to do? Well, I'll tell you, here's the decision that I've come to. Some are going to like it, some aren't, and that's just the way it goes with these things. You might notice with our restricted free agents and unrestricted free agents, you might notice what this situation is and what two players are currently unrestricted free agents. It might be two of the players that we've considered moving recently. Meanwhile, some of the other big names that I'm looking to re-sign are currently restricted free agents. You might also remember when I talked about the thought of trading John Carlson and Kevin Fiala because we'd be able to afford keeping everybody else. You might see where I'm going with this. I am going to re-sign John Carlson. I am going to re-sign Kevin Fiala. I am going to keep them for the rest of the year, and then I'm going to trade them at the draft. You don't have to like that move, but it's a middle ground between just getting rid of them because it's the realistic thing to do, and the over-the-top, glitching the system, not glitching literally, but the over-the-top, taking advantage of the system, trading for Vasilevskiy and flipping him. It's just what I'm going to do. Is it because I'm getting desperate? Which, what was it, Jose that pointed that out? Is it because I'm getting desperate to win? Maybe. Yeah, it is. Maybe some other series this year haven't exactly gone the way that we wanted them to. Some of them have, some of them certainly have not. But all I know, at the end of the day, is that this team is performing to a ridiculous level right now, and I don't want to screw with that system. So I'm going to do my best here. Again, John Carlson's not looking for that bad of a contract. I'm still going to go 3 years, though. I'm going to try 3 years at 5.8. If he's willing to sign that, he's going to be very easy to trade. Kevin Fiala as well. Let's go 1 year at about 4.9 and see if that works for him. And then, like I said, with the majority of other players, there are still some UFAs, but with the majority of other players, we can handle that after the draft when we actually have the cap space to make those deals. So like I said, not everybody's going to be happy with these moves, but I got to do what I got to do to try and win. All right, and unless we, like I said, even if we start off at the beginning of a series and say, okay, we got to make a limit on the realistic moves, it's my go-to every time. People have different interpretations of what's realistic or not. I could have done the Tyler Seguin trade. Say I was running a Dallas Stars franchise mode and I traded for Tyler Seguin the way the Stars actually did. People would be like, you are glitching the system. How dare you? So it's the way it goes. And I'm not having this conversation again because we've already had it earlier this year and with this series as well. The good news is, as we move forward, Nikita Gusev is back in the lineup. The one thing I am looking at doing is potentially fixing up the bottom six. Fiala is back, as is John Carlson, so the plan is coming together. The one thing I'm tempted to do is maybe make an upgrade on the fourth line. I'm not entirely sold on Vauclair. I feel like that's our one main weakness, which, I mean, you know, if your fourth line's your biggest weakness, you're kind of doing something right. But we'll see how it goes, because anybody who we were to acquire would just be a short-term solution. The three guys that are there currently, it is the plan to keep them there. I like those three players, and I'm hopeful that they will continue to progress, particularly Peyton Krebs, who I've talked about before. It's just one of those players that I like and that I hope will continue to do well. I also want to keep an eye on Belleville, of course. They've underperformed to a certain extent, given some of the talent they have on that team, but they still have a pretty strong record right now. Roman Josi was apparently banged up for a little bit. He is back to 100%. We do get an offer for Jack Hughes. Good Lord. No, I'll leave him to the Team USA series. I will leave him to that, and whether or not he finds any success in that series, I'm not going to tell you. You should watch the episodes, and if you have watched the episodes, well, you already know the answer to that now, don't you? As we hit the beginning of February 2023, we have a 36-11-2 record, which is insane. 26-17-6 happens to be the Belleville record. Let's take a look around the league quickly. 74 points. What's the next highest? 65, 69. So we're still 5 points ahead. It's a nice point total there for the Arizona Coyotes. Matt Barzal has turned into the center that I always wanted him to be. He didn't exactly set the world on fire once we acquired him. Once the Islanders decided, hey, we want to screw up and never sign him. He's absolutely killing it. And actually, you know what? Let's look. Let's look league-wide. I normally like going to the edit line screen to look at the numbers, because you can at least compare it a little bit easier. I don't know. It's just the way I prefer to do it. But Barzal, 61 points in 49 games, 56 points for Borgstrom, and Gusev is just a little bit under that point per game pace. He's also missed a tiny bit of time. In terms of the second line, guys, I mean, Stone has 39 points, 36 for White. Jost is a little bit further back, but he's still over 30 points. On pace to break 50, which is good for that second line. Heiskanen on the third line has 36 points. Sammy Heiskanen could really be something special for us moving forward. That 93 offensive awareness is obviously quite solid. Let me just look at forwards only. So, of course, he's on that third line with Barrett Hayton, who's closing in on 30. Kotkaniemi is a little bit further behind. And then the fourth line, Carl, 14 points, not bad. Krebs with 9 and 6 for Vauclair. They are all minus players, though, and that's my concern. I feel like if we get an upgrade, potentially at center, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see if it's worth upgrading there. Like I said, we do have someone like Nick Paul who could step in. And then Ty Ronning, he's only played 2 games this year. He filled in for Gusev. He had 6 points in 2 games. Kevin Fiala has only played 5 games this year. It's kind of ridiculous. Defensively, the Carlsons, both over 30 points. Erik Karlsson still almost a point a game player. Roman Josi with 28, Shabbat 18, and 13 for Dobson. Ty Smith still just 1 point. That is so incredibly strange. And goaltending-wise, it's been great. Not great. It's been good. It's been really good. Not quite Vezina caliber, but we obviously have the skill to overcome that. As Barzal right now is the NHL's leading point getter, Borgstrom is tied for third. So that is not too bad at all. I like what I'm seeing here. Wonder what the rookie race is looking like, by the way. Is Heiskanen in the rookie race? He is, and he's second behind Mikhail Samuelsson of the Chicago Blackhawks. Barrett Hayton's obviously up there as well. Damn. Could be a very good year for Sammy Heiskanen from the looks of it. Time will tell how this season wraps up. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and sim towards the end of this month. And depending on what that fourth line looks like, we might make some changes. I want this to be our year. Obviously, we're going to take a little bit of a step back. No, I don't want Kyle Turris back. Obviously, we're going to take a little bit of a step back when we get rid of Roman Josi at the end of the year. Well, I don't know if we'll get rid of Josi. Carlson's going, obviously. Roman Josi could go too. Someone like Jared McIsaac could be traded as well. And to be honest, someone like Jared McIsaac, of course, could be traded right now, but I kind of want to bolster up the Belleville Sens just to give them the best chance possible to succeed. But seeing their record, I don't know. We'll see what it is near the deadline. There's a good chance that someone like McIsaac could just be traded now instead of waiting. But then obviously holding Kevin Fiala hostage, which is basically what it is, holding Ty Ronning hostage, quite crucial to our success potentially. And someone like Ty Ronning, I honestly might keep if we can sign him for cheap enough. Having him be the replacement is just ridiculous. Like, that's such an advantage to have him ready to go to fill in a top 6 role in case of injury. That is such a good way to go. As we continue to win the majority of our games, over 40 wins now on the season. Belleville looking for 30. I think I might make some changes with Belleville. They're not... getting rid of Jared McIsaac, is that going to hurt their chances? Yes. But it's not looking like their chances are that great anyway. They might be a playoff team. Like, that's what it's looking like. Odds are they'll be a playoff team, but they're not killing it. They're not going to win the best record or have the best record in the AHL. So it can be worth getting rid of someone like him just to bring in some value now. So we have lost 2 straight games. That brings us to 44, 15, and 2 as of February 27th. Let's again take one more look at the standings. 90 points. 15 points clear of Tampa. That is insane. 9 points above the Islanders, 8 points ahead of Winnipeg, and 7 ahead of Arizona. That is crazy. Now, Borgstrom is our leading scorer. Is that just a sign that he's continuing to kill it, or has Barzal slowed down a little bit? I suppose that's my question. Let's take a look at the AHL. Actually, no, I'm just going to go right to trade screen. I'm going to go right to the trade screen. I want to figure out the AHL first. Well, no, we can figure out the NHL first, I guess, because if there is someone worth trading or sending down, it would at least be nice to know whether or not I'm going to be making a move. So Henrik Borgstrom is, he is what he is, and he is incredible. He has a career high of 75 points. I think he's going to break that this year. Let's take a look at Barzal. 13 goals and 61 assists. Has a career high of 90 points. Of course, that was before he came to us. He is on pace for his best season as a Sen. Again, don't know if he'll hit 90. He very well could. And Gusev has slipped up a little bit, but still a 28 goal scorer, but 30 points now. 30 fewer points now than he had last season. So he slipped up a little bit, but Barzal and Borgstrom have helped carry the slack. Tyson Joe still with 23 goals. He doesn't have the biggest support group, we'll say. But overall, he's still doing all right. Still a 20-point getter. I'd like to see him hit 50, and he should. In terms of Colin White, 27 goals and 15 assists. Is he on pace? Oh, yeah, he's already hit a career high in goals and should break the 50-point mark for the first time. And Mark Stone as well should break 50. I'm very happy with that second line. Again, top line as close to point in game as you can be. Second line, 50 points is great. I'm good with that. Third line, Kotkaniemi has been a little bit disappointing. A little bit. But if you hit 30 points on the third line, I'm happy. So all things considered for his rookie year, he should hit 30 and I'm good. Barrett Hayton has already hit 30. And Heiskanen, of course, has blown that number away. He's on 40 points this season. Of course, his offensive production slowed down a little bit throughout this month. He was on, 36, 38 before we started that last sim period. And on the fourth line, Krebs, 10 points. Again, as close to 20 as possible. I'm okay with that. I'm still just a little bit concerned about him being a minus player. But it's not the end of the world. 10 points for Vauclair, also a minus. And then Pascal Carl, point-wise, has been really good. So I'm a little bit worried about the plus-minus. In terms of defensive ability, obviously Vauclair's not that bad. And you look at his shot. Really, he shouldn't be used in a fourth-line shutdown role capacity. You put him with someone like Heiskanen, and they could be extremely dangerous together. That's not to say, of course, that we have defensive or offensive slouches. Krebs is not a very good shot blocker, though, is he? We do have the option to send down someone like Vauclair if we wanted to. That could be my big decision right there, is whether or not we make changes. And then defensively, I'm more than happy with Chabot and Carlson. Yeah, I'm happy with all those numbers. It's not an issue. So I guess the big question is whether or not, again, to have Kevin Fiala just sitting there, I could easily put him in the lineup. Could easily just put him in the lineup as opposed to somebody else. And in terms of AHL call-ups, Jesper Markstrom out of nowhere is turning into a monster. And then not to mention Nick Paul is still there. Zach Smith is continuing to decline. This will basically be his last year. But we do have Nick Paul as a more physical kind of guy for that fourth line. He's actually very good, and I didn't want to take him off of the fourth line, but we went away from the traditional grind line. So yeah, someone like McIsaac can go, and then of course we still have Reagan and Colton in for the future. So I think, yeah, actually, Roman Josi might be traded at this draft as well. I'm keeping this team together. We're going for it, and then next year we're going to get rid of some guys. We're going to bring in some prospects more than likely in return, and let some of the young guys take over. But for now, let's see. What is our draft pick situation as well? An extra second, an extra third, an extra fourth, no fifth, no sixth, and a seventh. Okay. And of course, the goaltending situation is still just ridiculous with someone like Langlois that we could use to make a deal if we had to. So let's take a look. Defensively, man, the Josi-Carlson trio is just so ridiculous. Jared McIsaac, though, buddy. You're the oldest one with the lowest overall. You are going to be on your way out. Nurmi, I might sign. Lop, I still might sign. Do we have anybody else that I'm intrigued by the thought of getting rid of? Toms, by the way, up to a 76. Harvey Toms. We're looking good. That's why I'm so dead set on just going for it this year. This is the last year to keep a lot of these veterans, and then we have to move them out, and we bring up the next class. That's how it's shaping up at this point. Someone like Gregor doesn't have that much value. Jack Alcock, we could move him, but for what? At least McIsaac has something there. Even someone like an Alex Formenton, that's like a third-round pick at best, so who cares? We'll just get a little bit back for McIsaac. I'm a little bit surprised, though, at Carl's lack of value. He's been pretty good for us. So is there anybody interesting prospect-wise on the block just to make these trades a little bit easier? Kavanaugh, not so much. Marsh and Joseph, but mainly Marsh. Troy Marsh, 20 years old, 78 overall, former 8th overall pick. Hello, Troy Marsh. Well, that's going to be tough for anybody else to beat, particularly because it's from a Western Conference team. And that sounds like one hell of a player to pick up from Arizona. Sarenheimo, not even close. Again, 78 overall at 20 years old. Like, how can anybody beat that? We're just getting an immediate upgrade. Something like Bodie Wild, no, we don't really need him. Wait, whoa, Jack Hughes. Why are they trying to trade Jack Hughes? I don't get it. I'm not going to get him, of course, because we're using him in the Team USA series. But, yeah, like, I'm not going to do that, but I could, probably. Say hello to your Roman Josi trade, right? Ryan Paling as well, someone I just don't want to use in both series. I'm trying to avoid that. Tarnasky's actually not bad. I like the other guy from Arizona more, though, and obviously I don't have to trade McIsaac to an Eastern Conference team. Clint Costines an RFA. Gainey isn't terrible, but again, Eastern Conference team. Yeah, we have our trade. Why the Arizona Coyotes are looking at moving Marsh, I have no idea. But this guy's a stud. That's a no-brainer. Will that go through on its own? I might have been able to draft pick it. Who cares? Who cares? What is he, 2 years younger than McIsaac? And only 2 overall points weaker? Like, that is a no-brainer. Wait, what the hell? What the hell? Where the hell's Carl? What, did the game freak out and send down Carl? That's incredibly weird, and I don't know why the game would have done that. But alright, instead of just saying, like, hey, who else do you want to send down? Alright, well, let me do that. That's very weird. I thought for a second, I'm like, did I screw up and select Carl? Like, what the hell happened? Apparently not. So we'll get him back into the lineup. And down in the AHL, I mean, that's an easy enough change. We just plug in Marsh. Where, McIsaac was playing. He's a lefty, too, so it's perfect. So there we go. I mean, that's not even fair, what we just did to Arizona. It's not. I mean, they get the better player now, but odds are McIsaac's not going to improve to that extra extent. So that works out tremendously well. Forward-wise, I'm just going to have faith in the depth that we have now. Let's do this. We are primed to be champions this season. If this team can't win it right now, then I don't know what to say. But obviously, regular season success only means so much. Playoffs are a whole different animal. But let's see what we can do. We have a long month of March coming up. I hate to even say the word and to put this negative thought and energy out there. Injuries could absolutely rear their ugly head and devastate this team. Although I'm very confident with the depth that we have, as I thought that was going to be an injury, but Ty Smith actually just recovered. And there it is. There it is. Eric. Fucking Christ. I knew it. I knew it. Erik Karlsson's out unless we make the Stanley Cup final. And that is why I wasn't afraid of cheating it. Erik Karlsson's out unless we make the Stanley Cup final. So, yeah, needless to say, I'm glad that we still have John Carlson. That is a massive injury. A massive injury, but that will get Pasi Kaltonen the chance to step up. I'm not going to play Shea. I'm going to play Kaltonen instead. Oh, boy. All right. As far as power play time. Right. So I'm going to have Kaltonen replace Dobson. Dobson will replace Karlsson. He'll get his ice time, and then John Carlson will replace Erik Karlsson on the power play lineups and stuff like that. So Pasi Kaltonen, welcome to the team. It's your time to shine, and to John Carlson, I wish you luck, because you now have to carry the weight. You do. Like, that is, he's gone. Erik Karlsson's out for the rest of the year. Just like that. I'm going to put Benton Moss into the lineup down in the AHL. We're going to bump up the other two. We'll do it off of overall. So we'll have Godfrey and Reagan. That, I knew it was going to happen. I put that energy out there. I said it. And the game instantly made it true. Which I'm absolutely not surprised by. Erik Karlsson, gone for the rest of the season. Pasi Kaltonen gets the opportunity to step into this lineup, and we will see just what we have with John Carlson by keeping him. And hopefully he can carry the weight. So far, so good in the immediate aftermath. But like I said, we are without Erik Karlsson unless he heals quickly. We are without him until the Stanley Cup final. May 30th. That's the only way. Can we recover from losing our captain? Can we get it done in the playoffs, where we have seen what kind of damage an Erik Karlsson can do in the playoffs? He is a different animal come that time of year. I'm sure we've already clinched the conference. That we have 113 points, 101, 105. So we're 8 points clear. President's Trophy is locked up, basically. Matt Barzal is going to finish over a point a game, which is amazing. We'll just go ahead and sim. Although, actually, Belleville, 42. Oh, yeah, they're going to make it. Or at least they should. So let's go ahead and sim these final 5 games, 2 of which are against the Bruins. We ended up losing 3 straight, and now 4 of our last 5. Make that 5 out of our last 6. And 6 out of our last 7. So we did pretty well in the immediate aftermath of losing Erik Karlsson, and then lost 6 out of our last 7. We still have the best record in the NHL, 6 points over the Arizona Coyotes. But that is rough. That is rough. 56, 22, and 4. We easily would have hit 60 without that massive losing streak, of course, and without missing Erik Karlsson. Let's take a look here. Goals for per game is what I'm really intrigued by. We were the only team to average over a 3.0, and we averaged over 3.5 goals a game. Our offense is ridiculous. Oh my God. Goals against at a 2.45, which was bottom 10, just outside the bottom 10. 201 goals allowed. Isn't really all that surprising, I suppose. Our power play, oh my God, 26.4%. The best in the league, and our penalty kill at 86.2%. Also the best in the league. We score goals, we score on the power play, we kill penalties. We might be in rough shape heading into the postseason, but there's no denying what a dominant team we are. The Belleville Sens are yet again heading to the postseason on 97 points. They are in the number 1 wildcard spot. So they are the 7th seed in the postseason. Kravtsov, just to take a look, 64 points. You can get a look at the AHL scoring there. And actually, I'm intrigued in the goaltending. Kadri did really well. Boston Belouse was okay. Let me take a look, though, league-wide. I would like to think Barzal led the league in points. Shesterkin led the NHL in wins, which isn't a surprise. Shutouts, though? 11 for Matt Murray. What about rookie scoring? Since we had someone in the running, Samuelson will win that. Heiskanen fell a little bit too far back. But not a bad year at all for Heiskanen. And Barzal actually tied Mark Scheifele. Scheifele was a plus 48, where Barzal was a plus 13. So I think Scheifele will technically win it. Dual winners, but a great season for Barzal. Borgstrom also broke 90 points. Just that top line. I mean, again, if you want to look in terms of goal scoring, Borgstrom was up there. Gusev was up there with 36. Colin White had 36. But you can see, like, Laine, Tolvanen, Middlestott was up there. Kadri was up there. Ryan Donato, Jack Hughes. You can see the names that were up there. Let's take a look at our team, though. I just wanted to kind of give you a scope of what the league looked like. But for now, let's focus on our team before confirming who we're playing in the postseason, which, spoiler alert, it's Pittsburgh. Let's see. So Henrik Borgstrom, we know we hit 90 points. A plus 14, so the plus-minus of the top line is a little bit concerning, but previous career high of 35 goals, he hits 44. Previous career high in points of 75 last year, he hits 90. So he has gotten better every season, which is insane. 26 points of those 90 were on the power play. Henrik Borgstrom was a machine. Matt Barzal tied with the league lead in points. Said he might hit 90. He set a new career high. 95 points, 78 assists. That is ridiculous. 35 of those points came on the power play. And then Nikita Gusev. I mean, again, the point total dropped from 82. He still had 36 goals. I'm not complaining. He is becoming just a legendary goal scorer at this point. So that top line delivered in every way. And again, I know Tyson Jost isn't the favorite player of a lot of people. What do you want me to do? Trade him after a 30-goal season? A career high in goals with 31. He hits 50 points for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. So last year, I was thinking about it, but this year, he bounced back, and that power play time certainly helped. Certainly helped. I mean, he had 3 points on the power play. Actually, he had power play time last year, but this year he was just a lot more effective. So, I mean, I'm not going to trade Jost. I mean, again, 50 points. When you look at the offensive ability of this team, for the second liners to hit 50 points, I'm good with. And then Colin White as well. 56 points, a new career high. A career high in goals as well with 36. He's a monster. And Stone, oh my God, I didn't even know Stone had that many assists. Good Lord. Mark Stone with a new career high in points as well. 15 goals, but 52 assists. I mean, again, I'm good with 50 points on the second line. Stone hit 67. That top 6 is unreal when they are on their game. We go to the third line. Kotkaniemi's rookie year, just shy of 30 points. I can forgive him for that. 29 points in his rookie campaign. I'm okay with that. Barrett Hayton blew expectations away. Again, trying to get to 30. He hit 41 in his rookie season. And then, of course, Sami Heiskanen, who we know did very well. He hit 47. So the top 6 delivered. Again, the top line were amazing. The second line all at least hit 50 points. Stone hit 60. And 2 out of 3 on the third line had above 30. Fourth line, I mean, even if you didn't produce, who cares? Peyton Krebs, again, I want you to be close to 20. He had 16 points. I'm good with that. Ended up getting the plus-minus to a -2. 17 points for Vauclair and 23 for Carl. I have no complaints. I could nitpick. I'm not going to. Our forward core is amazing. And I'm so impressed that everyone actually delivered. And then you get to the defense. Thomas Chabot, 33 points, a plus 26. So while he's capped out at the overall he has, I mean, it's the second highest point total of his career, the best plus-minus total of his career. I'm happy. Good season for Thomas Chabot. John Carlson, and again, factor in how offensively capable this defense is into just how incredible it is that our offense produced at the level that they did. Carlson with 60 points, which I believe he actually broke in the real NHL this season. I don't remember. How many points did John Carlson have? But at the very least, that is a career high from what I can see here. So a tremendous year for John Carlson, and obviously he has to step up. You're playing the role of Erik Karlsson. You don't get to be John Carlson. You do get to be John Carlson. You are John Carlson, but you get the point. There's a lot of weight on your shoulders. Roman Josi as well, 48 points, a plus 18, so another good season for him. A great season, really. Noah Dobson finished with 17 points and a plus 16. Great season for him. A little bit unlucky with the shooting percentage as well at a 4.9. Speaking of unlucky, Ty Smith, 90 shots, only 2 goals, 3 points for him. And then Pasi Kaltinen, at the very least, isn't a minus player. He has scored his first NHL goal. I'm intrigued to see what he can do in the playoffs. Goaltending, Igor Shesterkin with a 921, 44 wins, 3 shutouts, a 2.27 GAA. I'm very happy with that. John Gillies, not so much though. Backup goaltending was very shaky for us all season. He looked to have found some stability and then lost it, but obviously we have some prospects coming up that can replace him. Shea, Fiala, and Ronning didn't get to play much. Erik Karlsson, though, 43 points in 54 games. He missed a lot of time this year, and that could be a gigantic question mark. The durability at 80. I want to win with Erik Karlsson. That's the goal. But it's just, can he stay healthy? And I think, if anything, we might have to consider moving him out of those top 2 minutes when he is healthy. Is that just too much for him to carry? I'm not sure. But overall, what a season for this team. AHL-wise, I'm intrigued to see what they can do in the playoffs as well. I mean, you still factor in the guys like Reagan, Godfrey, now Marsh. Peltonen's a solid prospect. I mean, this team, off the back of one amazing draft for the most part, we are stacked. We really are. And as mentioned, I mean, the thought of getting Borgstrom and Barzal, you couldn't really plan for that. It just kind of happened. And, of course, that got the ball rolling and set this series on a completely different path. But even looking here, what I wanted to check were the unsigned players. Toms, Milroy, Gonchar, Cheng, Nurmi, and Lop. We are so stacked. Like, this team is only going to get better. And then, of course, the goaltending is that much more ridiculous. So, the next episode, of course, is a postseason episode. All of this optimism could be out the door in an instant. Point totals, President's Trophy, that's all well and good. But it's not what matters. What matters is whether or not we can get it done in the playoffs. Particularly whether or not we can get it done in the playoffs without our captain. We will find out. We know we're set up well for the future. But this is our best chance and might be, this is our best chance yet and might very well be our best chance, period, throughout the course of this series to get this win, to win a Stanley Cup. Whether or not we can do that, I'm not sure, but we'll find out at the very least whether or not we can make it past the Pittsburgh Penguins in the next episode. The playoff tree, Colorado, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Dallas, Edmonton, Vancouver, Arizona, and Anaheim. In the East, Columbus, Philly, the Islanders in Tampa, Boston, Toronto, and we, of course, play the Penguins. We will see that first round matchup in the next episode. We'll also keep an eye on the Belleville Sens, who play the Utica Comets. With that, let me know if you do anything special lineup-wise, aside from bringing in Kevin Fiala and Ty Ronning. They're the backup plan. They might very well get some use. But if you were to bring them in, I mean, really, I guess you'd say by default for the fourth line, but who knows? Maybe the fourth line's doing well and maybe someone else struggles. You can't really plan for it. But with that, I thank you very much for watching. As always, the links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. Give me a follow on both of those platforms, particularly Twitter. For the same reason as to why you should click the bell, ring the bell. Because YouTube sucks about letting you know when I upload. So you might just want to take extra precaution into making sure that you don't miss any videos. Because again, this train does not stop a-rolling. We go clean through into NHL 19, and then we keep going from there. The grind does not stop until I get sick of this or something bad happens. With that said, like, comment, and subscribe, of course. Ring the bell. Tell a friend. Tell your aunt. And let her know that I want that cake recipe, even though I'm not a big fan of cake, but I want to exploit that recipe and make a bunch of money on the secondhand black market of baked goods. Goodbye.